Hi, I'm Monique of Ezeebeady. Today I'm going to show you how to make this bracelet. I've only done this one 6 components long, and once I finished it I have realised it is rather small. I've got small wrists and it would only just go on my wrist, so I do suggest, even for a small wrist, you would make it 7 components long. So I will give you the quantities of a 7 component bracelet. Okay, for this tutorial I'm using 3mm Bicones. These are AB Crystal by Swarovski. 11/0 seed beads. These are galvanised gold duracoat by Miyuki. I'm using these new Rounduos. They're by the Potomac Bead Company. And this is the only company that will sell these beads. They're exclusive to them, and I've had to get these from America. They didn't take long at all to deliver them, so I was really pleased with that. Pop over to their website and you'll see some of the fantastic colours that they've got. I've only got them in white at the moment. I just thought I'd give them a try before I start and order any more colours. I've also got 4mm Bicones. They're by Swarovski, AB Crystal, and I have copper Superduos. It's a good idea to check all your holes are clear before you start, because these coated ones, they do tend to have a fair few that have blocked holes, and there's nothing worse than getting halfway around your project finding out you've got a blocked hole. I'm using 2 beading needles. You can use size 11 or 10 or 12. It's up to you. We're only using 1 for the main part, but you will need 2 later on. A pair of pliers for your tight spots, a pair of scissors for cutting your thread, and the thread I'm using is Fireline Crystal, £6. Okay. It also helps that if you just mash your thread down, if you're using this thread, it just helps to, just at the very end, to thread your needle. I've got an arm span of thread for each component. So to begin with, you can use 4 of your Rounduos and 4 of your Superduos, and we're going to alternate these. So pick up a Superduo, around, a Superduo, around, Superduo, a Rounduo, a Superduo, and a Rounduo. Take these down to the end of your thread. And leave a tail long enough for you to be able to thread a needle back on to just sew your tail away. And I'm going to go through these beads again. So just go all the way through them, making sure you don't miss any. Hold on to your tail and take these down. And then we're going to tie 2 or 3 knots. Don't over tighten it, because we do need to be in these beads. So I'm putting in 3 knots there. So that's what I've got so far. I'm just going to mash my tail down so I can get my needle on it. I'll get my second needle. And thread that onto my tail. And I'm going to take this into the super round duo. Sorry, I'm going to set this into the round duo. So I'm just going to take my tail away from my knot. Go through as many beads as you wish. And then take your needle off and cut your tail away. Just remember, we went into the round duo first, so get your other your needle, your working thread, and go into the Superduo, into the next round, this is where it's a little bit tight, so pliers, and then we need to come out of the Superduo, so I'm just going through that next. Okay, so I'm coming out of the bottom hole of this Superduo and I'm going to step up into the top hole. So I'm now going in the opposite direction, so I'm going to turn my work over so I'm in the right direction for me. And then we need Superduos. So I'm going to pick up a Superduo and go through the top hole of the round duo, and then pick up a Superduo and go into the top hole of the next Superduo. Pick up a Superduo and into the top hole of the round duo, and just repeat this until we get back to the beginning. And now we're on our last one, so I'm picking up my last Superduo. I'm going into the first Superduo we're coming out of and into the first Superduo that we added. And that's what you have so far. So I'm going to work my way around this again, all these beads that I've just added, because I'd rather strengthen my work up. So basically you're just going through all the beads that we've just added, one at a time if necessary, just making sure that you don't miss any of your holes. Once you've gone right round, you just need to come out of a Superduo at the end, and then again we're going to step up, and again, because I'm working in the opposite direction now, I'm going to turn it over so I'm going in the correct direction for me. So when you're in between these two Superduos here, we're going to pick up a super round duo. We're going to pick up a round duo, and I'm going to pop that just in there. And now I'm going to pick up an 11/0, a 4mm bicone and an 11/0, and go through the top hole of the next Superduo. I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to pick up an 11/0, 4mm bicone and an 11/0, and go into the top hole of the next Superduo, pick up an 11/0, a 4mm bicone and an 11/0, and into the next top hole of the next Superduo. And now we're opposite this round duo here, so I'm going to pick up another round duo and pop that in there. And now I'm going to repeat these bicones on this side. So it's an 11/0, a 4mm bicone, an 11/0 through the next Superduo. An 11/0, 4mm bicone and an 11/0. Some of my seed beads are not very good, so I've just got to be careful with them. And into the next Superduo. So one more in the 11/0, 4mm bicone and an 11/0, and into the next Superduo, and I'm going through the Rounduo that we added first. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Okay, so I'm going to put a couple of knots in. If you want, you can go around this one more time, but when we attach the clasps at either end, I'm going to go through these again anyway. If your thread's fine enough, then yes, go through. We've just got to make sure we've got enough room to go through your beads again. So I will go through because I'm sure I've got enough room with this thread. So I'm just going all the way around again, and then I'll put my knots in. Right, so I'm just going to go through the bicone here, and I'm going to put my knot so it goes into this Rounduo, because they've got very big holes, so they can take the knots quite well. I'm going to pull that in. Don't over tighten it because it'll pucker up, so we don't want to pucker it up too much. And I'm going to put a knot into that bicone. And then one just before that Superduo. And then we're just going to take my thread away from my knot and then cut it off. So that's your first component. Okay, the next ones are going to be slightly different. They just still have quite a bit of thread left there, so you know, an arm span is more than plenty for each component. So that's your first component. Your next one is slightly different. Just move that one out of the way. So the beginning of the component is exactly the same as the original one. So you get 4 of your Rounduos and 4 of your Superduos, and alternate these. Oh, and that one's blocked, so I'll just pick another one. Okay, so I've got 4 of each alternated there. Take these down, remembering to leave enough tail to thread your needle on. Go through these again. Just making sure you pick them all up. Hold on to your tail and take these down. Okay, then we're going to tie these in a knot. I like 3 knots. Just try and loosen it up ever so slightly. It just helps to get your needle in. Thread a needle onto your tail. So if I just mash that down a bit, it just flattens the end of the thread and it helps you get it into your needle. Hopefully, there you go. So again, I'm going to go into my Superduo first, just so I know which direction I'm going in. And just take my tail away. Take my needle off. Just make sure you're cutting the tail and not your working thread. Cut your tail off. Get your working thread. And like I said, we went into the Superduo, I'll get them right, the Rounduo, so we're now going into the Superduo. I'm just going to work my way away from that knot. And again, I need to come out of the Superduo. And step up into the top hole. So again, I'm now going in the opposite direction, so I'm going to turn this over, and then I'm going to put a Superduo on either side of the existing Superduos. So it's pick up a Superduo into the Rounduo, and a Superduo into the Superduo, a Superduo into the Rounduo, the top hole that is, and repeat this till you get all the way around. The last one. So I'm going through the two Superduos there, and again I'm going to go right round this to strengthen my work up. So I'm just going to go through all these beads again. Okay, so I need to come out of the Superduo and step up, and again now I'm going in the opposite direction, so I'm going to turn over again, and in this one, in between the three Superduos, I'm going to put in a Rounduo, pick up an 11/0 seed bead, 4mm bicone, 11/0 seed bead, and go into the next Superduo, an 11/0 seed bead, 4mm bicone, and an 11/0 seed bead, and into the next Superduo, pick up an 11/0 seed bead, 4mm bicone, and an 11/0 seed bead, and into the next Superduo. Now this is the point where we would add another Rounduo, but we're going to attach it to this one here. So we're going to use this existing Superduo, don't matter which end you I'll get it right, Rounduo. Now it doesn't matter which end you use, because it doesn't matter which way up they go. So just go straight through that hole and then straight into the Superduo of your component that you're working on. Okay, so that's all I've done there. I've come out of this Superduo, gone into the Rounduo of the previous component, and back into the Superduo there. So pull that tight, and now we need an 11/0 seed bead, 4mm bicone, 11/0 seed bead, and go into the next Superduo, 11/0 seed bead, 4mm bicone, and 11/0 seed bead, and into the next Superduo, 11/0 seed bead, 4mm bicone, 11/0 seed bead, and now we're back again, full circle. So this time I'm going to put a knot in here. I should have done that on this one, but I didn't. I'm going to put a knot in there and into the Rounduo, and then I'm going to go right round this component, going through all the beads that we've just added. I'm going to put a knot there right next to that Rounduo. And pop that in there. I'm just going to go back up to the Rounduo again and put another knot in there, because when we embellish it we won't be going through the Rounduos again, so it's quite a good place to put your knots. So I know I've got a knot there previously, but that's not a problem. And then just work your thread away. And then cut your tail off. So that's your basics. So just keep doing this until you have 6 components, and then come back to me and I'll show you how we're going to attach the clasps and your embellishments down the sides. Right, I just thought I'd quickly show you another way of attaching. Instead of just you know, making each one as you're going along and attaching like I've just shown you, you could make 3 of your whole components, and then on your next components, when you get to this part, instead of putting your Rounduo in here, you would pick up the Rounduo on your completed part, go through your next Superduo, attach your bicones. So we've got an 11/0, a bicone, an 11/0, and go through like you would have done before. It's entirely up to you if you want to do this method. It just depends on what you're happy doing. I just thought I'd show you it, and then you've got the option. And then we've got to the part where we would put the other Rounduo in, but I'm going into the attaching Rounduo into the Superduo of the component you're working on. And then go for your back onto your bicones. So it's an 11/0, your 4mm bicone and your 11/0, and back into your bicone. Whether you prefer this method, it's up to yourself, entirely up to you. So I've got my 11/0 bicone, 11/0, and into my next Superduo. Or 4mm bicone, and into your next Superduo, and I'm just going to put a knot in at that Rounduo, and then continue basically as exactly as I did before. Just go right around here, putting a knot in between it before each round duo. Don't worry about if this isn't overly tight on this part, because when we attach the clasp it's going to tighten it up a bit for you, so don't worry too much. Like I say, I'm just going right around the outside now. I'm going to put a knot in just before that round duo. Now you can see it's not tight at all, but that's fine. If you want to tighten it up now, just pull it. I'm not worried. I'm just going to turn it over. I've gone right round the edge now, and I'm going to put one more knot in before this round duo. And then work my thread away. From the knot. So there, that, like I said, that's just another method of connecting your pieces. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to cut that tail off and then show you how to attach your clasp. So I've got my 6 components now, and this is where your 3mm bicones come in. Right, okay, so you've got your 6 components made, and now I'm going to add the clasps, and you've 3mm bicones in the embellishments. I've got 2 arm spans of thread put onto 2 needles. So this is where your 2 needles mainly come in. So I'm going to use 15/0 seed beads for my loop. I just find them easier for the clasp to go through, but 11/0 seed beads are absolutely fine, so it's entirely up to yourself. So I'm going to pick up 11 15/0 seed beads. That's 11. Just let them fall, and then I'm going to pick up one 11/0 seed bead, and I'm going to just take that down a bit and cross in the opposite direction, put my needles together and take them down to the end, so you've got a loop. Okay, so just separate your needles off, put one in your mat, just hold on to one end, and I'm just going to go around this loop to strengthen it. I'm going to go around it twice, so there's 3 lots of thread going through there all together. Just be careful not to pull too tight on this first round, otherwise you'll lose your middle. And also be careful not to miss any of your beads. So I'm coming back to me 11 that I put on, and that is the one that you need to come out of once you've gone round. So I just need to go around one more time. This time you can just pull it a little bit tighter. I'm holding on to the other thread with my other hand just to give it a bit of something for me to pull against, and make sure that I'm not moving my beads away from the centre too much. Okay, so now I'm coming up to the 11/0 again. and I'm going to go straight through the 11/0 and come out of the other side, so that we've got the thread once again coming out of each side of that 11/0. Okay, so now we're going to pick up 2 11/0 on each needle. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to just let them fall. I'm just going to move these to the side. I'm going to get my bracelet, and I'm going to cross in the top hole of my bracelet, one that way and your other needle in the opposite direction. Fetch that up. And that's what you have. So put one of your needles down. So I've got hold of this side, so I'm working down this side of my bracelet. I'm going to pick up 2 11/0 seed beads, and I'm going to skip that Superduo and go straight into the seed bead that it's right next to. And I'm going round the outside of the bracelet, so I'm going through the 4mm and the next 11/0, and then into the Superduo. Now if you've pulled your components rather tight when you first made them, you might find this a bit fiddly, but it is doable if you just take your time. So I've just gone through the 11/0, the bicone and the 11/0, going into the Superduo, through the 11/0, the bicone and the next 11/0, and that's where we need to come out from. So now we're going to pick up the 3mm bicone, skip that gap, and you're going to go straight into the next 11/0 on the next component and do the same thing. Just work your way around the outside. Just being careful not to miss any beads until again you're coming out of this 11/0 just before the Superduo. Pick up your next 3mm bicone and into the next 11/0 of your next component and work your way around again. Just take your time, one bead at a time if necessary. If not, you can jump through if it'll let you. And again, I'm coming out of this 11/0 here. I'm going to pick up my 3mm bicone, jump in the gap and into the next 11/0. So that's what you need to do all the way down to the other end of your bracelet. I'm on my last one for this side. I'm picking up the 3mm bicone and I'm going into my last component. think these Rounduos are absolutely wonderful. I think they've got so much potential, and I can't wait to see, you know, the designs, what people come up with. I think they're amazing. So I'm coming out now of the last 3mm and 4mm bicone, and I'm just coming out of the 11/0. So I'm going to pick up 2 11/0 seed beads, and I'm going to go into the top hole of that Superduo, Rounduo. I will get the name right, and I'm going to do the other side now. So I'm going to pop that down, turn my work over, and do exactly the same thing with the other side. So I'm coming out of this Rounduo at the top. I'm going to pick up 2 11/0 seed beads and go straight into the 11/0 and 4mm bicone, and again work my way down. So it's exactly the same thing on this side as what we've just done on the other side. Okay, so last one. I'm just coming down the last side now, and I'm going to go through the 11/0, the 4mm bicone, and come out of the 11/0, pick up 2 11/0 seed beads and go straight into the Rounduo. And now I just need to make sure this is tight, so I'm just going to give them a gentle pull and work them down. Just make sure that's nice and tight and that clasp at the end isn't too loose. So don't pull too tight or else you're going to be snapping your thread, and we certainly don't want that. Right, so now we need to attach the clasp at this end, so just sort your threads out so you know where they're at. Doesn't matter which side you do this on, which needle. So I'm going to pick up 2 11/0 seed beads. I'm going to pick up my clasp and 2 11/0 seed beads, and I'm working with this side thread, so I'm going to go around and go into the opposite side of the Rounduo. Pull that down, and I'm going to get my other thread and just go around these again. And you can use opposite threads each time if you want, or just one thread. But I'm going to go, actually no, I'm going to go around one more time with this thread, but I'm not going to go through the Superduo this time. I'm just going to come out of the beads that I've just attached. So I'm going through my clasp there, and then I'm going to go down the 2 seed beads. I'm just going to wait there while I get my other thread, which is coming out of the Rounduo, and I'm going to go around these 4 seed beads with the clasp, because I need to come out of them seed beads. Okay, so I've just gone through the clasp and then down the 2 seed beads. Just hold on to your duo and give them both a pull. Make sure they're nice and tight. Again, we need to sort your threads out. Make sure you know which side is which. So I've got this side thread and it's coming out of that seed bead that is against the clasp. I'm going to pick up an 11/0 seed bead, and then I'm going to go down those 2 seed beads, and then I'm going to work my way down the outside again. Right, until you get right to the other end. You can do half and half if you want, you know, do half this side, half that side. It's up to you. It might be a best idea to do that actually, and then you can make sure it's nice and even. This will be a bit tighter now because of when we put the 3mm bicones on. I've tightened it up a bit now, so it will be a little bit fiddlier. Just take your time, and don't forget to go through that 3mm bicone when you're going down. Just make sure you don't miss any of your beads. If it does get a bit stiff, this is where your pliers will come in handy, just to help you, as long as you don't force it too much and break your beads. So I'm just going to go around this one now, and that'll be halfway, so then I'll do the other side. Just wait there, I'm going to turn my work over so that I'm working in the correct direction for me. So again, I'm coming out of these 2 seed beads that's right against the clasp. I need to pick up one 11/0 seed bead and go into the next 2 seed beads. That just fills that gap in for you there. And then again, work your way down the outside. Okay, so I'm just about at the same side, so at the same length down now as I've got to on the other side. I'm just going past that point now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just make sure that they're nice and tight, just make sure they're not puckered up too much, but there's, you know, no major gaps. And then I'm going to carry on with the same side, because it makes no difference as to which side you carry on with now. So I had just over 2 arm spans of thread, and I think that was actually quite a good length to have. So what I'm on now, I'm on my last component, and I'm just going through that 4mm bicone, and I'm just coming out of the seed bead that's next to it. I'm going to go up the next 2 seed beads, and I'm going to pick up an 11/0 seed bead, and then go up the next 2 seed beads. And that's just filling that little gap in there. If you remember, we did it at the other end. So I'm going to turn my work over so I can complete the other side, and again I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I just need to finish working my way down. So I'm going to go into the 11/0 through the 4mm bicone, and I've not come out the 11/0 this time, so I just need to go up them 3 if I can, if not, oops, 1 at a time. So now I've managed all 3. Again, we need to just fill that gap in, so we're picking up an 11/0 seed bead and going up the next 2 seed beads, and now we're exactly at the same point on each side. So I'm just going to grab my threads and just give them both a gentle pull to tighten up your work, but then run your hand down just so that it's not puckered. So now I'm going to cross over on this seed bead, this 11/0 seed bead that I had attached when I made my loop. If you want, you can go around your loop, but I've already gone around it 3 times, so I'm quite happy with how that is. So I've just gone into that 11/0 with that side, and then I'm going to go down the seed beads. I'm going to go down all the seed beads on that side. and I'm just going to rest my needle there until I meet up with the other side at the same place. So now I need to go through that 11/0 seed bead and then down those seed beads on that side. Then we need to start tying our threads off, and that's it, we're done. So you can put your knots in front of your bicones this time now, because we won't be going through them again, so we'll just put some knots in there. So right before the 4mm bicone, I'm going to put a knot and go through. Pull your knot into your bicone, and I'm going to do another one if I can manage to get in there right before my next bicone, if I can come out in the right place. Don't think it's going to let me. See, it's getting a bit tight, so I'm just using my pliers. Go through that seed bead. Basically all you need to do now is tie off. I'm not going to let you sit here and watch me struggling putting knots in. Oh, I don't like things beating me. Right, so I've just gone through that bicone. I'm going to put a knot in there. And then take my thread away. Just keep putting as many knots in as you want, as you're happy with, and then cut your thread. So I'm happy with that side, so I'm going to cut that thread. So now all you need to do is the other side, and put your knots in down the other side, and you're done. And there you've got your bracelets. I'm Monique of Ezeebeady. I do apologise for it being so long for this tutorial coming, but I suppose I was waiting for the Rounduos. There we go. Right, I look forward to seeing any of your designs, bracelets that you've made with this tutorial. It'd be lovely to see them. Please like and subscribe,